right, so you got people discussing the old version of you. You got people discussing a version of you that doesn't exist anymore and a version of you that may have never existed too. Because again, certain people you had in your life during your past may have thought they knew you, but they never actually knew you. And there were certain people in your life that benefited from you guys just being a little bit naive or being sweet or being kind, which sounds kind of strange to a lot of us because we're like, okay, we're open hearted people. But there was a lot of situations where when you guys were unsure of yourself or going through a season of healing, certain people can come in and see that and take advantage of that. And when you go out of that season, heal like you guys always do because you know how to do that, you wake up and you're like, wait a minute, why am I tolerating this? Wait a minute, this doesn't resonate with who I am. And there's also certain people in your life, once you heal, you realize you were only really bonding on trauma or you're only really bonding on a shared addiction or pattern that you guys were ready to release. So there's definitely somebody coming into the message today that I'm already picking up on. Once you healed, you had nothing in common with this person. And that is why this person is so attached to an old version of you, because that was a version that they were able to spend time with and indulge in some sort of thing that you guys have healed from. And maybe it wasn't like parties or alcohol or drugs or something crazy like that. Some of you guys, yeah, but for some of you, it was more like maybe you both weren't over an ex, or maybe you both were grieving a loss of a family member or going through some sort of process that's natural. But when you bond over just trauma with certain people stay stuck there. And I'm not here to shame them. Again, you guys are here as an example. When you guys chose to heal, it was a conscious choice that you were like, okay, I'm no longer going to sit here and cry. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to get a therapist, or I'm going to read books, or I'm going to do things that make me happy. I'm getting myself out of this rut. I don't care how hard it is. I'm getting rid of the things that are preventing me from shining or being my best self, etc., etc. But there are certain people, they are married to that version of themselves that is a victim. And that's why a lot of you have outgrown so many people so fast, because there's situations where you were called to be in a certain person's life, lead by example. And I feel for a lot of you, it isn't such a sad story for some of these people, or maybe this person coming in, because maybe over time they're going to see your example and follow it. But again, we have free will here. But I am picking up an energy right now of somebody who is mourning the loss of a version of you that just doesn't exist anymore. And I feel that this person just benefited off of your hurt and your pain instead of really like seeing the real you. And if they actually did, then they'd still be a person in your life. But again, this person had their own issues or traumas or things that they had to heal from, and they were not able to do that. So you had to move forward with your life. Um, and on the other side of things, you guys also have people that are praising this new version of you, because those that are real in your life see that you outgrew certain things and they're actually proud of you. Like they're proud of you for being able to make these changes to become this person that you are today. And they saw certain patterns or addictions or people in your life that weren't good for you. And the fact that you stepped away from that, took the time out for yourself, evolved, and came back better. There's a lot of people in your life actually rooting for you, and they are excited for these changes that you're making. They're excited that you're coming back to yourself or a better version of yourself. And they're either excited about it because they look up to you, or they're excited about it because it's someone in your life that loves you and they want to see you thrive and succeed. And they knew a certain relationship or person in your life wasn't healthy for you. So that's what I'm hearing. This could have been an ex too as well, that or a best friend or someone around you wasn't good for you. And I feel like there were certain people that told you that. But at the same time, there are people that knew that you had to go through your own process, just like you guys see people go through that, and you're like, okay, I got to step aside and I say my piece, but they got to decide for themselves. But there's another side to this where you guys actually see it before anybody else does. Sometimes you see the flaws in people before anyone else can even see that you're suffering or going through things. But again, what is the song coming through? Um, it's that one song where she says like, "Did you check on me? Did you notice or whatever?" Like that's what I'm kind of hearing, because a lot of you like you realize that the people that you're spending time with or a certain person wasn't actually checking on you or asking how you were doing. Like they were just kind of along for the ride, benefiting off of whatever you guys had going on at that time period, right? And now you're a version of yourself that just doesn't allow that. I also feel that some of you may not be comfortable with this new version of yourself, and that's why maybe what certain people are saying to you or saying about you could be a little bit uncomfortable, because you're still growing into this version of yourself that you're meant to be. But don't let others fool you. Like it is very, very like easy to see that you're in a better place than you were in before. That's what I'm hearing. And not only that, like there's a lot of people saying, like collective out there, got over this so quickly. I wish I could do that too. They got out of a toxic relationship so quickly. I wish I could do that too. Oh, collective here, they left behind this friendship that wasn't good for them and they started a new life. Like I'm so happy for them. Oh, collective here, they, people watching you guys like decided to walk away from something even though it benefited you in one way or another. It wasn't healthy for your mind or your spirit. Like people could see that you guys have this ability to see beyond the veil and see past what other people are saying or doing and become the person that you're meant to be. So let's get into it a little bit more. I haven't even pulled any cards. I was just channeling in. But one thing I did channel today was like student became teacher. So there's a lot of people that, and I've talked about this a little bit, I think over my channel members, how you guys have this ability because you're so smart and because you are dedicated to learning, that in one season of your life, there could be someone that's teaching you something. And then the next season, you became the teacher. Like you surpass people very quickly when it comes to knowledge, when it comes to skill. And there's two reasons for that. One of those is because you guys are chosen ones, right? When you're meant to do something, it just flows for you. But not only that, behind the scenes, if you guys are not good at something or don't understand something, you take the time to research it or understand it or become better at it. Like you guys make really great students. And I say this a lot. Like some of you guys may resonate because I'm a life path 7 or you have 7s in your chart, or again, doesn't really matter, but that could resonate for some of you. Like a lot of you, if not all of you, are dedicated to growth. I'm also hearing 11 as well. Some of you guys could be life path 11 too, or 9. Doesn't matter, 6 I'm hearing too. But you're dedicated to growth in a way that certain people don't understand. And it isn't a me versus them. It's like a, oh my gosh, I want to be good at this because it matters to me to learn more or to be better than where I was at yesterday. And you're not doing things for egotistical reasons. So that's why you guys are able to surpass people way quicker and faster than others because number one, you're blessed and you are talented, right? Number two, if something isn't for you guys, you just have this natural ability to not have an ego and be like, well, it isn't for me. I moved on from it. But there are certain people that are stuck at certain phases in life because they're still trying to do something that isn't for them. So there are things that you guys were meant to do. You were a student of it, you learned it, and you surpassed and became a teacher or a mentor very, very quickly. And that kind of spooked a lot of people because they're like, what the heck? Like this person was just a beginner a couple months ago. How are they so good at this now? Right? So that's another reason why people are discussing an old version of you because some of these people that could be jealous or this person coming in here was like, oh, when I knew them, they barely knew how to, say it's hockey, right? They barely knew how to hold the hockey stick or whatever. They couldn't shoot a puck, whatever. But now, all of a sudden, a couple months later, like you guys could be playing in a league or you just found something you enjoyed. And that's another thing as well for my people out there. When you enjoy something, you can spend a lot of hours doing it. So people may not understand this, but you guys just have this ability to lock in, okay? Seriously lock in and cut off distractions when it's important to you to be good at something or when you're enjoying something. That's the thing as well. I think certain people, they lose their childlike sense of wonder and fun. And that's another reason why they get so stuck in their ways, okay? Now, on the other side of things, it's like this message has a duality I'm hearing because, like, there's a lot of people praising how well you're doing, but then the flip side, there's people that are like, well, I remember when they first started. Oh, I actually taught them hockey, whatever. That's just an example. Hockey's an example. But you guys get what I'm saying? It's like, okay, Anne, what's your point? Just because they taught you or got you on that path or gave you an idea doesn't mean that they carried you through the lessons, the sweat, the tears, everything else that made you who you are. You guys got better at something because you put the time in and because you put the work in, prayed for it, and you wanted it. You wanted it and you went for it. And maybe you were just meant to be good at this thing, right? And it could, and again, you guys are not the type to shit on anyone that taught you something or put time in to help you. But collective here, you guys know dang well that no one really ever steps in to help you the way you have done for others. And it's a reason for that. It's because people are threatened by you, okay, when they see you coming. Oh my gosh. Shocking clickbait. You won't believe this story. Yeah, and it's so funny because what I was hearing too is that you got a lot of people like discussing things about you that are either not true or extremely irrelevant. And like what I'm hearing is like it's like they think they have tea on you, but it's like expired milk. Like that's what I'm hearing, like expired tea, expired milk, because it's like you're not even giving people access to you where they even have information about you. But yet there's people, like I said, like we'll give the hockey as an example. Maybe they saw you your first day holding a hockey puck, but now you're an expert on it. So like, why are they so obsessed with your first day doing something? Like, it's like so silly. It's like saying, oh, I remember they were a toddler and they couldn't walk, ha ha ha. Like, you see how ridiculous they sound? But there are people like that. They like remember certain versions of you where you were new at something and they hold on to it because their ego makes them feel good remembering a time where you were more vulnerable or not as smart or good at something as you are today. Now, some of you guys may actually be good at hockey, so it could resonate, but you guys apply that to anything in life that you're good at, you know? There are certain things that you guys were not initially good at, but you became extremely good at because of the timing. Yeah, another thing I see as well for you guys is that you can have times in your life where you're in a down season, but it doesn't mean that like you guys are giving up. And people will see your down seasons as like, oh, they finally gave up, or blah 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 blah. But then you come back a brand new version of yourself. You're either doing something way different, a rebrand, or you get back to whatever it is that you love when you clear out the evil eye and the negativity. My lightworkers and healers, there's a reason why you guys need a lot of time and isolation, and it is because you absorb things more than most people. So you need a lot of downtime to cut cords, to cleanse, to pray, to get back to yourself. There are so many times that you guys may have thought that you needed to quit something that was for you, but it turned out it was evil eye, it was spiritual attack, or somebody got into your head, right? So that's also why certain people get so attached to these versions of you that were maybe in a down season or a little bit in a hermit season or whatever, because they think that means they hold some power over you, that there was a time in your life where you weren't as strong as you are today. But the truth is that you're just doing you. And whenever you disappear or you don't give them anything to talk about or to discuss, they make up stories or they project, right? So that's what I'm hearing. Hit that like button. Oh, thank you so much, Love Light Shining. Yeah, it makes them feel secure, pointing out others' flaws. Yes, yes, yes. So people are just so obsessed with whatever they can pick at to make themselves feel better. But that's just a testament to your guys' light and how good that you guys are at things. And I was stressing this a lot for you guys over in Collective, that there are things that you guys are really good at that you have given up because of evil eye, because people were jealous. People said that you weren't that good at it or that it wasn't for you. I'll give you guys a little story because even though I do spiritual work, I am very much a skeptic. I don't suggest you guys just go to random psychics and get readings or whatever. I remember when I was younger and I was a little bit newer on my spiritual path. I was very into this stuff at a young age. I went to like a psychic and I was definitely young, like, and I shouldn't have been doing this stuff alone. But I went to a psychic and I remember this. I had to be like 13 or 14 years old, maybe 15 tops. And I went and I was like, oh, I really love spiritual work. I want to do that. And this woman was like, that's not for you. That's not for you. Don't do it. It's not for you. Yeah, it was just crazy to think about. And she's like, yeah, and your soulmate, they already left your life. Like, you already walked by and you passed them by. I swear, this was some straight demonic stuff, like, taking over this. I swear in my life, this sounds like a story that is not true, but it is extremely true, guys. And she's like, your soulmate passed you by, and you're gonna have, and I don't even know if I can even say this on a live show. She said, you're gonna have five, let's just say, like, I don't even want to say it, like something not good. Okay, guys, I'm not even gonna say that. And I'm like, oh my god, like that's awful. And there was like a local shop, like not far from my childhood home. I could probably still point it out. And I'm like, I left there like, what the heck? I paid money for this, like. And it's crazy because I think now looking back to it, like certain people who are in tune could see something good in you or a light in you and be threatened by it, or that person was a liar, you know. But I think something more deeper. A lot of people who have spiritual abilities tune into like demons and dark stuff, and they tell you your fears. Like, I've known this other person that when I used to bartend, there was this girl and she was gifted, but some people use their gifts in like a wrong way. And I remember she was jealous of me because like I took her job. This is years ago, guys. I took her job and you know, she got fired because she was not great at her job, but she still would like be like a regular at that place. So she would like try to go in and like give a reading, and it was like she was like, I'm gonna give you a reading, and like I was like working, so I was like whatever. And she's like said these things that were like almost like she was able to channel into like my fears, you know. She said like, you know what I think about you, you're oh so, no, she was reading me. She's like, I'm reading you right now, you're a witch and nobody likes you and all this stuff. And I'm just like, what the hell? And again, that wasn't really my fears, but I think at the time, this is before I was like public with like doing this stuff. And I used to read cards for people like at the bar, and like I was kind of known for that just because I always had that ability. I was employed at a psychic shop, but it wasn't something I really advertised. But she was probably just jealous or whatever. But she's like, but she kept saying that like no one likes. I don't know. She just kept saying stuff that was just like dark and like not good. But it was almost like at that time, the age I was, like she was. There's probably more to it, but I forget. She was like channeling into things that like I was afraid of, if that makes sense. So people will like she was able to tune into my fears. Does that make sense? And regurgitate them back to them or whatever. I don't know. Like people have that ability is what I'm trying to say, and that's why I would say be careful with people who have psychic gifts and abilities, because people will use them against you, right? And again, thank you guys so much for the compliments. I know I'm sharing a little bit today for Thanksgiving. As you know, you guys know I have some crazy stories. If you guys like it, you let me know below if you want me to share more. Because before I was Alice that you see today, I believe me, I have so many people, and I always tell people this. Actually, go back to my first videos. You guys want to go to my Pick a Card channel? I always say go back to watch my first video. That will show you guys what growth looks like. Because I'm like shy and I'm holding the camera shaky. I was not a natural at this. I'm still not. There are days where I'm incredibly shy, or I'm still anxious to go live or do my messages, or it's not as smooth as I want it to be. Like, and I think it's important to share that with you guys, because growth only happens over time. Yeah, some people naturally just got it, but I don't think people were saying that about me. Like little Alice, she was always going to be a star, and I don't think so. No, I don't think that's what they were saying about me. I was shy, I was frumpy, I was unattractive as a child, and again, I don't want anybody to say, oh no, 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 no. This is important to say this because a lot of you guys had this is actually what's coming in the message. Like a lot of you guys had glow ups or things happen to you in your life where you transform into a better version of yourself, but people are so attached to that old version of you that they can hold over your head. Oh, I remember when they used to be fat or ugly or this or that. And it's like, you guys have heard it all, right? And not only that, you guys here in Collective who've had a glow up, which is all of you guys in one way or another, you have people like so obsessed with like trying to find this version of you that at a time period you weren't happy with yourself. But the globe for a lot of you was simply just finding yourself and loving yourself again. And that's when you began to transform. It wasn't maybe diets or this or that, whatever, but it was internal. That was when you guys truly began to glow up. Yeah, on all levels of beauty. Exactly, right? I love your stories. They're relatable. I'm like, yeah, because I've had some crazy stuff happen to me. And guess what? This doesn't happen to everybody. Like, I always tell you guys this too. People will say to me, like, oh, you think, people who don't understand this, they're going to think you're crazy, right? They're going to be like, that didn't happen. That doesn't sound real. I remember, like, I used to do a sales job too as well. And I would tell stories like, this happened to me today. And my boss would be like, that did not happen. Like, that doesn't happen to people. That's not real. I'm like, no, I swear this stuff happens to me. But there was always something bigger and grander going on outside. I think this happens to everybody, but not everybody has like that ability to be in touch and see that and the magic and trust that. So when you get that urge to it's time to make a change, it's time to do something different with your life, you trust that because you believe in the magic of everyday life. You have faith, blind faith. Sometimes that's all spirituality is or believing in God is. It's faith. And people have lost faith, and that's what the enemy, low vibrational energies do. That's exactly going full circle what that person was trying to do when they sat there and told me spirituality wasn't for me. Well, look at me now, okay? Maybe it isn't for me for the rest of my life, but spirituality is a part of all of us. And who's someone to sit down and tell somebody that something they want to do isn't for them? F that woman, wherever she's at now. I'm gonna think if they're still operating, then shoot, I might have to leave a review. But I was flabbergasted. Imagine that, like people telling a young person something so horrible. I tell your stories because when I tell my stories, everyone's like looking at me like that could not have happened, right? It's crazy, right? But it's just everyday life for us. Like we want a normal day. Am I right, Collective? Like we want a day where like nothing happens, uneventful. No one's trying to talk to us. Like people are not trying to get in our face, be in our business, right? Like we like to keep things low key. Like it's not exciting to us when someone tries to come up and talk to us. A lot of you guys refrained from telling people stories about your life or stories about people talking to you or even coming up to you or complimenting you because you realize no one like people will try to gaslight you into your reality not being real. I'm new. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. And welcome to new people coming in as well. Welcome to my Thanksgiving special, which is just like my other readings, but a little bit more festive. Yeah. So another thing as well for my collective over here, you guys enjoy change, right? A lot of people don't like change. George, no. A lot of people don't like change, and The thing is that when you guys get bored, things get stiff or energy gets stale, and it's because you're energy sensitive. When you guys are somewhere for too long, or you're in an environment where the energy is building up, you can feel that. So it's almost like change for you is like the air that you breathe. Even if you don't want a change, you're forced into change spiritually. And people don't understand that. It's not relatable to them because they're like, well, this works. I'm going to keep doing it, even when it's not working anymore. But you guys have that ability to be like, heck, even when things are working, you're like, well, it's not fulfilling me anymore. I want to do something else. But change is so important to a light worker and healer's vibration because if you don't switch things up and change things up, the energies will get very overwhelming for you guys. So I know a lot of you have dealt with situations where even when you didn't want to, change had to happen. And there's another side to this. Shout out to my Scorpio placements, my eighth house placements, people. Okay? Change is just constantly forced upon you. You're like, oh, I'm so happy I finally got this new job. Now all of a sudden, the boss is out to get you and you gotta go. Okay. Oh, I'm so happy I finally found this nice guy. Oh, he turned into a villain and you gotta, ghost him, right? Oh, I'm so happy that, my family life is finally going well. Oh, somebody has a crisis and you gotta come save the day, right? I mean, it is what it is, right? Like you guys are so used to instability because that was your path. But you're meant to be adaptable because that's how God sends you guys where you need to be. So a lot of your childhoods or your experience or adolescence or heck, even later on in life, for those that got called later on in life, it happens. Like shift changes puts you in a different mentality, right? That's because it makes it easier for God to be like, all right, I need you here. All right, you got to go there. And you're like, all right, bet. Instead of being like, but what about little Timmy? Or what about. I'm joking. Please don't leave your kids behind. But you guys get what I mean. Like, you're able to balance all that stuff without feeling guilt or shame, right? Um, wake up, sleepy George. You want me to wake up, George? All right, wake up, George. Wake up, George. That's how life feels. Um, I swear, sometimes we making jokes and people are like, "This girl's crazy," but I'm kidding, guys. Oh my gosh, in the same place for so long, yeah, spiritually different. Yeah, even when it's not like a physical change, it's energetic. Like one day you could be obsessed with learning about numerology. The next day you are learning math. Like you guys are just the type of people that you do what you're called to do because God will have you doing all this random stuff and then be like, oh, because there's a bigger purpose like involved in all that. And that's why I share stories about my life because I was here, I was there, I was this, I was that. I'm doing this and now I'm doing that. And like, do not be surprised, guys, one day if I disappear and I end up somewhere else. Don't worry. I'm probably not going to do that. But you guys get what I mean? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with, my path leading me somewhere I don't expect, even though I've built so much up. And how did I get to this point? It was not easy. Okay, I'm a Taurus South Node. I have lost things that I've worked really really hard for in my life, and I had to grieve it like a death. Okay, my first Instagram where I was doing pick a card readings, I worked on that for years. It got shut down, and I was grieving it, okay, because I thought I needed it, for my business or whatever, but I didn't. I survived and moved forward. There's so many things. My subliminal channel, right? I worked on it for 2 years, randomly got demonetized. Okay, whatever. Stuff just happens and it just tells me, okay, it's time to work on something else. Something isn't working. It's time to work on something else. Could it be spiritual attack? Could it be this? Could it be that? Sure. But God is pushing me towards something different. And not only that, there are times where things have happened in my life where I was like, oh, I wish I just listened instead of fighting it. It cost me a lot of time and energy to fight something that was meant to just be gone. So it's just through experience. And you people out here watching, you guys have that same thing going on where it's like you're like, okay, I have to change. It's my purpose. It's my path to change, to be different than what I was before. And once you've gone through that so much, it becomes just natural for you, and that's where you're at right now. So yeah, you guys successfully healed yourself, by the way. Because you've realized that the enemies in your life preyed on the unhealed versions of yourself, right? You look back at it and you're like, okay, I just was second guessing myself, so I allowed someone else to come in and tell me this is who I am. And I've said this before, when you know who you are, no one could use that against you, right? Even your flaws, okay? Thank you so much, Angel 222 star. 222 could be an angel number you guys are seeing, by the way. I appreciate the donation. Thank you for the stories you share. Thank you for appreciating the stories I share. It's funny because I've gone through so many changes and shifts while being here, and there was a time where I would share stories too on my Patreon, and there'd be some people like, "Stop talking about yourself and get on with the message." I'm like, "It's part of the message. It's part of the lesson. I'm not just a reader. I'm a teacher. I'm helping you guys understand the concepts. Like, and that's why the collective was born. Because I'm like, oh, I need a group of people that just like learning and growing, and they want to understand like." Because that the pick a card was more like love readings. I get it. You want your love message. I understand the different perspectives. I'm not dissing anybody's, point of view, but it's like I was telling stories because I'm trying to explain to you guys what you're experiencing so that you can understand it and not internalize it. Okay, this person's rejecting you, but this is actually what's going on. So I pointed to a time in my life where, oh, this happened, this person came around and admitted this or whatever, right? You guys are awesome. Yeah, Mr. Cheese is right about that. You guys are awesome. Wise man learns from his mistakes. Wiser one learns from others. Right, right, right. Thanks for the education. That's what I'm here for, okay? Mr. Cheese Cracker jokes over there. We got the Queen of Swords. Yeah, it's so funny we're talking about the Queen of Swords. Okay, so you guys became this Queen of Swords, and it's funny because we also got the King of Cups here too as well. I feel there was a time in your life where you guys, okay, it's really interesting because you guys are able to balance these two energies now. Like in the past, maybe some of you guys were a little bit too diplomatic. Some of you were a little bit more hard headed and tough. You guys are the type of people that are extremely diplomatic, and and another thing as well that you may have people discussing about you is that how you changed your mind on a topic or you're not true to how you used to be. But just because you don't walk around like wearing it as a billboard doesn't mean you're not the same person you used to be. Like you could just be focused on new things right now, right? Like one part of your journey may have called you to focus in on one line of work or one major issue in the world or whatever, right? But now you're called to something else. Or some of you guys have learned and evolved to realize that you have to shift your focus. And that's the thing. When you have a purpose, it's constantly changing and evolving. When you're a light worker and healer, you're going to have a lot of people in one season of your life, and this is actually pretty sad for them because I really don't blame them. They get extremely attached to you because they see you as that light in that space, but you're actually meant to move and transform out of that space so that people want to do the same, right? If you stayed there too long, it wouldn't be good for any of those other people too, because they're going to be in an environment where they get to see you. And I'll give you guys an example. If you're at a job or you hang out at a certain spot or wherever, right? Regularly, right? You're there to show those people that this is just a season in my life. This isn't forever, right? So you move on, and other people, after you're gone, it kind of loses its spark too. Like you do that to people, and then they're like, okay, maybe I should start getting my life together and do something else too, because ever since collective left, it's not the same. And there's people that will look up to you in this way, and there's also people that will hate on you because, like, they'll say, oh, they changed, I think they're too good. But if they do ring you up and called you, you're still the same person. You're just not there anymore. You healed out of a certain environment. It doesn't mean you're still not you. If they became unrelatable to you, it's because of their own doing. They're still involved in toxic things that you guys chose that you didn't want to be a part of. And that's on them. That isn't on you, okay? So other people's feelings is not your responsibility. And that is why a lot of people also get stuck. Even good-hearted people get stuck and become stuck people because they feel certain people they love uncomfortability with change that they need to make for themselves. And they stay there to appease other people's feelings, and that's not their path, right? So that's why sometimes you guys have had to let go of certain exes or certain friends or certain people because they were still uncomfortable with the changes they had to make because it would ruffle a few feathers. But guess what? That's life. We're going to have to step out on our own. The bird needs to leave the nest. We're going to have to be able to make decisions for ourselves. That's how we hear God, our angels, the universe, the intuition that we have so strongly. That's how we hear it the most. And collective here, you guys have this ingrained in you stronger than the average person. And that's why it may be obvious for you to be like, come on, guys, get the hell out of here. It's time to go. But other people don't see it as such, right? Hello, everybody. And hello to my new people coming in here. Appreciate your haters. Yeah, honestly, your haters help you grow too as well, to be honest. As crazy as it sounds, it is true. It is true. So, okay, one last part of this message that I feel coming in is that there's another huge part of this is that there's a lot of people saying that you changed, right? But the truth is that you didn't really change at all. Well, you did, but it was more like you needed a different person or environment to thrive. So you got certain people attached to this old version of you that you were because they weren't the right person for you. And this is like a love relationship. It's like an ex. They could say things about you like, oh, this person can't be in relationships. This person is uncommittal. This person doesn't want to get married. This person doesn't want, like, I could tell. Like, they could say all this stuff about you. But the truth is that you didn't want it with them. And they can't see it outside their scope of understanding, right? They're so attached to that version of you that was angry or frustrated all the time because that relationship wasn't what you needed. And I'm getting the imagery of like a fish in a pond or in a tank or whatever, right? Like, is it true that fish grow bigger when they're in a bigger tank or something? Like, I don't know, or certain animals do. Reptiles, I don't know, guys. Don't quote me on this. It's been a long day. But you guys know what I mean? Like certain things, environments need certain people, different people to thrive, right? So there were certain people that like they're attached to a version of you that was basically they were stunting that version of you, and that's why they don't know you anymore. I hope that makes sense, right? And there's somebody that can't wrap their head around the fact that yeah, you actually can be happy and thrive in a relationship. It just wasn't with them, right? So they say you changed, or they say that there's a version of you that just doesn't that you're presenting to the world that isn't really you. Oh, I know them. They're like this. They're angry all the time. They're argumentative all the time. Oh, they're this, they're that. But the truth was that oh, they're non-committal. Oh, this person can't stay in a relationship. This person's always walking away. This person's strong and independent. They don't want a man, whatever, or a woman, right? Whatever. But the truth is that you guys are always going to be open and big softies to the right people in your life. And happy birthday to my Sagittariuses. Exactly. Goldfish grow to their environment. Thank you, talking to trees. I was, I was getting there. I was getting there. They are bad at confrontation. And there's so many people out there that can just ask you or talk to you about this, like, and get the peace and closure that they need. I'm definitely sensing an X here. I'm sensing an X here coming in here, and maybe some of you guys are not open to talking to your exes, but you got someone here that's like, why wasn't it not me? You know, like why are you so different now? Or oh, why are you faking being happy in this relationship? But the truth is that like you can even tell. Honestly, you can tell this person, I'm happy now. Like I just this wasn't the right environment for me or the right people around me. That's another thing too as well. I'm hearing in this situation. You guys did not have the right support, whether it be friends or family or people around you, and you try to discuss that with that person. That maybe it was the people around them, or maybe it was what they were trying to force you to be. Like it just wasn't you, right? So this old version of you was trying to conform, or this person was trying to conform this old version of you of what they wanted you to be. And that's why it wasn't going to be them, because you need someone to help you grow into the version of you that you are meant to be. And that's why you've got people so attached to these versions of you. It's not even like it's an old version of you. It's just a version of you that wasn't in the right tank. You were the goldfish that wasn't in the right tank, and now you're putting yourself in the right tank. And this is just one example. For a lot of you, it has nothing to do with an ex or not an ex or this person or that. It has to do with you guys being like, I'm not happy here. I'm going to put myself in a new environment. And then all of a sudden you're thriving, right? It doesn't mean that in between that season you were not going through it and adjusting. But when you come out of it, you're willing to take that risk to become this new version of yourself. And I was actually going to title this video, You Got People Grieving the Death of the Old You, but I didn't know if that was too dramatic, but basically what I'm hearing, like there's certain people that feel like they can't even reach out to you or talk to you because the version of you that they knew is dead. But honestly, what I feel is that if you are unreachable or that person is dead to you, it's probably because of something that they did, right? Because you guys are kind, or you're just happy now and you don't want to risk all the good stuff you have going on here to open the doors back to energies and people that don't know how to protect their energy or affected your peace of mind, right? So that is what I'm hearing. My ex from 3 years ago, right, tried getting back with me. And it's crazy because a lot of you guys, I know there's always one or two that are like, why are you always talking about exes? I'm not, okay? Here's the thing. I'm here relaying to you guys what's going on in your energy field. We're creating a new future here, but I always like to tell you guys, hey, this X is in your energy field. This person is saying and doing this because it helps us just be aware, cord cut, and cleanse. And even though we may be angry at exes or don't want to hear about them, sometimes it's good to hear these things because we don't realize how we internalize the things that these people have said to us in our relationships. You guys have had exes, I'm sure, or friends or people in your life, family members, that have told you things about you that you still believe to be true, or you still carry with you, or that you are releasing right now. And that's why it's so important that, you guys acknowledge that, okay, like this has happened to me. I'm not angry for this person showing up. I'm happy that I've grown out of this and this isn't even a part of my life anymore, right? But yeah, it is annoying. I get it. I get it. But we're creating a new future. This channel is not really about predictions. It's about, I mean, if something comes in, like money's coming, then hell yeah. But it's more about like actively making the changes in the present and, channeling in on what's going on with us energetically so we can, with our free will, choose the best possible path for ourselves and continue to do so because you guys are on that. It's up to you. Choose a new direction. Situation will improve. Right. Love that. I love that. It's so crazy because you guys have sat there and told people, like, you're not happy. It's up to you. You can choose a new direction, okay? Like, that's just what I'm seeing. And like certain people just, they don't see that for themselves. It's up to you. You could choose a new direction. The situation will improve. And you are not just, the circumstances that you were born into. You are not just the environments you find yourself caught up in. It could be hard, when you're stuck in an environment or a pattern, but you can choose today to decide, okay, I don't like this. I'm going to make a change. And collective there, you guys have done this. And that is why there are certain people on the other side of this change, you decide that they haven't made that change yet. There's people on the other side of the change that you guys have made discussing you because they have no other thing to do. What they're supposed to be doing is not discussing you at all, unless they are figuring out what you guys have did so that they can replicate it in their own way, right? But there are people discussing this old version of you because they don't have access to you anymore. You've made it into a new timeline, a new version of yourself, because you sat there and did the hard work and said, "Okay, this isn't for me. I could choose a new direction, and that's the only way my situation is going to improve in one way or another." So that is what I'm hearing. I'm realizing that as well. I've had people tell me about myself projecting, yes, let's change. Yes, 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 yes. So that's pretty much the message today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Okay. Happy Thanksgiving. And for those that watch this in playback, my readings are timeless. Okay. Let's get a little bit of a future vibe here. Love that. Because you know what I was saying to you guys? Money is coming. For those that want a future prediction, you guys are going to get the fruits of your labor, okay? And that's another thing as well, that these people are going to sit around and discuss, when you get the money and things are going well for you, they're going to say, oh, you sold out, you did this, you do that. They're just miserable because they're too afraid to make moves, or the spotlight just isn't for them, okay? They got to do the work before they can step out and shine the way you guys do. There's some people just bitter that your path is your path and not theirs. And you guys would be surprised how, even if you're a feminine energy, it's a masculine energy, or you're a masculine energy, it's a feminine energy, or for some of you, your own friends or family that you treated like your own blood, even if they weren't, or they were your own blood. Sometimes it'd be your own people. But that's what I'm seeing. Like, you guys are stepping into your season of success, and a lot of money is coming your way, and you guys are being rewarded for doing these changes that you needed to do. And that's it. So, if you want a prediction, here it is. Big happy changes are coming your way, guys. Okay, and I actually, again, not to keep talking about it, but I did a message also on my channel memberships about how your success is somebody's karma. But not only that, someone's meant to see you guys be in a happy relationship, thrive financially, all that stuff, like an ex or something like that, because of how they treated you and how they wanted to define who you were. But you are anything that God has made you to be. No one else's opinion of you matters. And I think that, you guys have realized this, and that's why you're a powerhouse, because you're like, God knows my heart. I don't care what these people are saying about me. You realize that, like, you don't have to accept anything less than you deserve. Someone puts you in a situationship. Okay, I'm going to find someone that sees me as a husband or wife, right? I'm going to do the work to make sure I head towards that path. I always say this, your life will never pass you by. The only way it will, your soulmate or whoever, is if you're so focused on the people that aren't for you. And that's why these people stay miserable. It's not because God is punishing them, it's because they stay focused on the wrong things while you guys are ready to adapt and change. And are you a totally different person you used to be? In some ways, because you healed, but in most ways, no, you're still you. And you're completely accessible and kind to those that have a positive effect on your life, or those that haven't, burn that bridge. Anybody that is dead to you guys, or you're a completely new person to them, is because they were obsessed with a version of you that they could take advantage of, or they were just somebody that was not meant to be on your path long term, and they just can't accept it. Yeah, you guys are no longer accepting breadcrumbing from people. You guys are realizing that somebody not seeing you in a good light is a reflection on them, not you, right? If people just don't want to make you like what, if people don't want to hire you, they don't want to date you, they don't want to be your friend, you could just change yourself in a direction where you're moving towards people that do, and that's it, right? And a lot of times, again, it's like if these people really didn't care for you the way they said, they wouldn't be so focused on you. So again, if you're hearing gossip or whatever, just let it be. For some of you, you feel it. For some of you, you don't care. You're just here to tune in and say, "Hey, what's up, Alice?" Doesn't matter. But again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Okay, that's today's message, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And again, I'll see you guys all next time. Thanks for hanging out with me this Thanksgiving, and If you guys are interested in chatting with me, I go live on my collective every Sunday and I answer questions live as well, okay? Have a great night, everybody. And thanks again for the super chat. I really do appreciate that.